Padres are very happy to be home in San Diego, where it's a beautiful night as the Padres get ready for a homestand. A long one starts tonight with the Washington Nationals in Game 1 of the series. Franchy Cordero's been rolling right along. In fact, he's reached base safely in each of the last 10 straight games. And Cordero back in the lineup tonight for Andy Green. Bryce Harper is here, one of the game's best. He has feasted on Padres pitching over the years at .372, 7 homers and 27 runs batted in. We welcome inside the broadcast booth at Petco Park, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo along with Mark Grant. Welcome to Padres Baseball. Well, tonight the Padres bounce back after a good series against the teams in Mexico that they took on, and the LA Dodgers able to take 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers, and part of that was a big series for Eric Hosmer.
It's nice to have that anchor over at first base by the name of Eric Hosmer. We know about the gold gloves, but how about with the bat? Eric Hosmer, the last 10 games. I think as the season heats up, so does Eric Hosmer. Why do you see these numbers the last 10 games? He's pulling the baseball a little bit more. He's using the whole field. He's going deep, big clutch home runs. He's taking the walks as well. He works the leather over at first base, and he's swinging a hot sleigh. Hopefully that carries over here in San Diego.
One of the best players in all the game is Bryce Harper. He is doing it all right now for the Washington Nationals.
There's a reason why he was an MVP. There's a reason why he is an all-star. He crushes fastballs in the zone, and the rankings prove it. Home runs, walks, RBIs, OPS, 6 games as a leadoff hitter. We'll get into that as the game goes on. But here is a guy, he's in scoring position when he walks up to the plate. He's a showstopper.
Well, tonight a very good pitching matchup. We've seen a very good season so far for Tyson Ross, matched up against Steven Strasburg.
This is going to be a good matchup, especially if both guys are on their game. Tyson Ross on the right, last 4 starts, a nice ERA. The key is the fastball location and the biting slider. He gets a lot of swings and misses. Steven Strasburg, power with command. He's got the great-looking changeup. He'll mix in a slider every now and then, but we got 2 guys here who are gamers and pound the strike zone.
Well, the Padres have been getting very good closing from Brad Hand lately. We'll talk more about Brad Hand when we come back. Bob Scandal will join us. Hand is back, successfully closing out games. Andy Green, his manager, will weigh in when we come back from Petco Park in San Diego. Back back-to-back Ks for Brad Hand. And that'll drop in there for strike 3. Hey, struck him out, the Padres win.
After blowing a save in San Francisco last week, Brad Hand is back to being, well, Brad Hand. He's closed out the last 3 Padres victories for saves 7, 8, and 9 on the season for himself, and he has retired the last 6 batters he's faced by strikeout. Does he have the mental toughness? Here's what Andy Green had to say.
We've said it 1,000 times with him, what happens the previous day doesn't impact him at all. So there's never been a concern in my mind at all if he has a rough outing that the next day there's going to be a problem. It's usually for me, how quickly can I get him back out there? And if I get him back out there quickly, he closes it out.
Not only mentally tough, but physically resilient. As Andy said, the sooner he can get him out there, the better. Hopefully he can close one out tonight for Tyson Ross. Tyson has a tough task. What is it? Controlling the Washington Nationals. They have the power, they have the patience, they have the speed. Tyson will look for win number 3. He'll be going up against Steven Strasburg. Padres, Nationals, first pitch coming up next, right here on Fox Sports San Diego.
Another outstanding performance from Eric Hosmer.
Viene a batear Hosmer, primer picheo, con fuerza sobre el japonés, con todo por el right field, buena la bola, sí señor, se va y se fue a la calle.
Tonight, the Padres return home to Petco Park, where Tyson Ross looks to shut down Bryce Harper and the high-powered Washington Nationals. Winners of 7 of their last 8, the Nats look to Steven Strasburg to keep their momentum rolling. Nationals and Padres next. Well, beautiful night tonight in San Diego as we get ready for the Nationals and the Padres. Your always sunny Honda dealers of San Diego County bring you the weather report. 64 degrees tonight, southwest breeze at 7 miles per hour, and the forecast partly cloudy for the remainder of the night. But right now, not a cloud in the sky as we get it started tonight in San Diego. Don Orsillo, Mark Grant, and Bob Scanlon with you for the first of 3 between the Padres and the Nats. Second time the Nats have been to the West Coast already on this season for their new manager, Dave Martinez, as we check out his starting 9. Bryce Harper leading it off and in right field. That's the way he has been at the top of that order for the Nationals. A little different looking lineup, but he's been enjoying it. Trey Turner is at shortstop with Anthony Rendon just off the DL and back in the lineup. Matt Adams, the former St. Louis Cardinal, Howie Kendrick. Matt Wieters does the catching with Michael A. Taylor in center field. Steven Strasburg is batting 8th, and Wilmer Defoe out of the 9th spot for the Washington Nationals.
You know, the thing about this Nationals team is that right now, as they start today's game,
one game over 500. They're not even at full strength. They've got a bat by the name of Daniel Murphy who's still wanting to come back. So that'll even make this lineup even better.
Well, Tyson Ross leading his team onto the field as Ross gets the start tonight for the Padres.
And the scouting report for Tyson Ross, the 31-year-old making his 7th start, has not faced the Nats since August 2015. Fastball with cut. He'll throw the four-seamer and he'll throw that slider anytime. And that scouting report you're looking at right now is brought to you by GMC.
Check out the Padres defensively, brought to you by your San Diego County Ford dealers.
In the outfield from left to right, Franchi Cordero, Manuel Margot, Travis Jankowski in right. On the infield, veteran Chase Headley at third, Freddie Galvis at short, Jose Perella at second, Eric Hosmer, the Gold Glover, at first, and behind the plate, Rafi Lopez.
Just the 5th start of the year for Chase Headley down there at third base for Andy Green. Is very happy with the Padres, who took 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers after being no-hit in game 1 of that series. And there is Chase Headley getting the start tonight at third base. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, big key, I think, is Ross versus righties. Why do I say that? Well, the righties against the big right-hander are only hitting 145. Keep it at that. And a more 1-2 punch. We talked about after that no-hitter how the Padres got to go into the number 1 and the number 2 slot in their lineup offensively. Keep that going against the Nationals here at home.
Well, Tyson Ross looking to build on what has been a very good start for him on the year. Just a 3.28 earned run average coming in into his 7th start of the year. Now here comes Bryce Harper, who's been kind of quiet lately, something to keep an eye on as he makes his way to the plate. Had home runs in each of his first 2 at-bats on Friday, but since then 0 for his last 11 with 0 walks, and leading it off tonight for the Nationals. So Harper stands in, Tyson Ross ready to work. Padres in a shift on the right side of the infield, and the first pitch of this one is swung on and fouled off down the left field line, out of play. .246 average with 12 home runs and 28 runs batted in. Harper leading in home runs with a 12 in the National League. 1 more than Charlie Blackmon of the Colorado Rockies. And look at the way that he started in the first 17 games. It's cooled off over the last 18.
Could not get him out in those first 17 games. And the 183 average, you look at that, and as a pitcher, maybe a little anxious early in the count. And this is where Tyson Ross wants to get him. 0-2, 1-2, put him on the defensive. And I've always felt when hitters are in a little bit of a slump, they get a little bit too anxious and start swinging early in the count.
Mookie Betts, the only player in the major leagues that has more home runs, as he has 13. This one just foul outside of first base. Harper, Turner, and Rondon here in the first inning for the Nationals.
And you know the mindset of Bryce Harper. He's the type of kid, we know him. As you take a look at Trey Turner, he goes up each and every time at bat. It doesn't matter if he's 0 for 11, 0 for 20. The intent is to attack the ball, get on base.
Into the shift, and a soft liner caught by Perella. Went down to a knee to make the play in shallow right for out number 1.
Broke his bat down in his kitchen a little bit there. Nice pitch by Tyson Ross.
So 1 down will bring up Trey Turner. Turner off to a very good start, hitting a .281 on the year coming in. 2 homers, 12 runs batted in. Very fleet of foot. And takes a pitch inside for ball 1. Set at .329 in the last 21 games after a slow start. And a little dribbler that will go foul. Out there quickly, aggressively, was Rafi Lopez. And a foul ball. Trey Turner's got to come on back. Talking about his speed, he is 3rd in the majors, 2nd in the National League with his 12 stolen bases already this year. And he's walked 22 times. He had 30 walks all of last year in 447 plate appearances. and already with 22 walks and 157 plate appearances this year. Drives one out towards deep left center field. Margot going back at the wall. He leaps and it's gone into the bullpen. Trey Turner with home run number 3 of the year has put the Nationals on top 1-0.
Talk about command of the fastball from any pitcher, and the count was 1-1, and Tyson Ross wants to go down and away. That ball looks like it has a little bit of cut action to it on the four-seam fastball. At times it'll be a straight four-seamer. Sometimes that ball will cut a little bit. That one stayed at the heart of the plate. Nice, easy, short, quick stroke from Trey Turner to get him on the board.
The Nationals off to the fast start on top 1-0. Anthony Rendon swinging early and grounding and foul. So far, these Nationals have been very aggressive in their approach with Tyson Ross. Anthony Rendon, 274 with a home run and 6 runs batted in.
Yeah, it looks like the Nationals hitters, if they're going to get that number 1, that fastball, they will be jumping on it. That's a proven fact early on here. Trey Turner just did it. And to counter that, which Tyson Ross can do quite a bit, is throw that first pitch slider for a strike.
Rendon just coming off the DL on May the 5th. Not a great year last year. He finished 6th in National League MVP voting.
You know, it's kind of, I think of this when I think of Rendon. You know, all the spotlights right on Harper.
Yep. Kind of gets overshadowed when you think of the Nationals. He's a very good player.
Exactly. And I think it takes a special player, ego-wise, to, you know, with the way he performs, Anthony Rendon, he's fine with that. Hey, focus on Bryce Harper. I'll get my RBIs. I'll get my big hits.
In the air down the right field line. Jankowski on the move towards foul ground and into the slide, but can't come up with it as it jumps up into the seats. Had to go a long way, got there, but just out of his reach.
Oh, long run for Travis. We've seen him make some great plays out there in right field, diving. Like it was last trip in San Francisco, I believe, where he made a diving play to his left, taking away extra bases.
Rendon was down there at first base. Got to come on back now. I thought that ball may have landed fair. But a foul ball, and back to the box here with 1 down in the first inning. Matt Adams waiting on deck here for the Washington Nationals. The only visit of the year here to Petco Park. This one chopped foul outside of third.
There's that slider. You're not going to see too many hitters square that pitch up if he throws it in the right location. The barrel of Rendon's bat kind of going over the top of that biting slider down in the zone.
Line to left, and Franchy Cordero is there to make the catch. Rendon lines out to the left fielder for out number 2. So 2 down, and that'll bring up Matt Adams. Adams has started now 10 of the last 12 games. And Dave Martinez can't afford to take Adams out of the lineup. Homered on Sunday, hitting at .424 in those games with 6 homers and 14 runs batted in his last 9 starts. So in the lineup every day is Matt Adams, kind of forcing the hand of Dave Martinez.
You know, looking at this Washington Nationals lineup as you take a look at the Padres defensively, 1 through 4, that's pretty good. Lefty, righty, righty, lefty. Tough outs.
And look at the games we were just talking about. In the last 10 games for Matt Adams, it has been quite a run. The former St. Louis Cardinal. This is in the air down the left field line, out of play. They are shifting on Adams on the right side.
Don't let his size fool you either. As you take a look at the shift, he's got a little bit of speed. He can get down the base paths.
Second on the club in home runs and in RBIs. And this one ripped foul down the right field line. He was out ahead.
That is dropping some serious head of that shillelagh right there. Down and in, wacko. Way out in front. See if Tyson counters with something down and away. Backdoor slider maybe. Tried to backdoor something there.
Fouls it off over by the Padres dugout and hangs it 2-2.
You know what? When I look at a hitter swinging the bat well, he does just that. That was a nasty slider down and in, but yet Matt Adams somehow makes contact with that to get another shot at it. There's a lot of left-handed hitters, I think, swing over the top of that pitch.
Not just playing at first base either. He's made 8 starts in left field as well. So in the infield and the outfield for Dave Martinez. Eighth pitch of the at-bat coming up here for Matt Adams. 23rd of the inning for Tyson Ross. And that is just outside for ball 4. First walk allowed by Tyson Ross, and comes with 2 down here in the first inning. Veteran Howie Kendrick coming up.
You know, this was a spot. You're the visiting team. You can see Steven Strasburg just got up and walked out of that shot, but you know, you want to get out there. You want your team to get on the board. It's like, okay, I want to get out there and get that first inning underneath my belt. There's a time of being anxious in a spot like this.
Howie Kendrick fouling it off down the right field line, out of play. This is the first time Tyson Ross is allowed a run in the first inning of any of his outings on the season. Very good in the first inning. Entering this game, hitters were 2 for 20 in the first inning against Tyson Ross.
Yeah, the next pitch will be a 25.
Line and caught at second base by Perella. That'll end the inning on the hot shot to second. Home run by Trey Turner as the Nationals on top 1-0. Brought to you by Jack in the Box. This season, Padres home run score free Jumbo Jacks only at Jack in the Box. And by Petco, the pet company. Now the Padres back home and ready for a homestand as they started against the Washington Nationals. And the Nationals have jumped out to a 1-0 advantage tonight as we check out the Padres starting 9, brought to you by your San Diego County Toyota dealers. Travis Jankowski leading it off with Eric Hosmer at first base. Franchi Cordero in left. Rafi Lopez doing the catching. Chase Headley at third. Jose Perella at second. With Freddie Galvis at short. Manuel Margot in center. And Tyson Ross, the pitcher, batting out of the 9 spot. Steven Strasburg on the mound tonight for the Nats. And ready to work to Jankowski. It's a ground ball base hit into left field. Good start for the Padres here in the bottom of the first inning.
First pitch hacking, and there goes the no-hitter. Travis Jankowski hitting down on this baseball. It's a four-seamer away, head on it, barrel to it, shortens up on the backside, and Rendon at third base creeping in, taking away the bunt, therefore taking away the range, and it scoots through for a base knock.
Well, Steven Strasburg coming in at 3-3 into his 8th start of the year. Eric Hosmer had a great series in Mexico and trying to keep it going here now that the Padres are home. Big hack right there for strike one.
That is a nasty breaking ball. That's a slider at 83 miles an hour down and in to Hosmer. Not a bad first pitch to get ahead.
Check on Jankowski, who dives back safely. Strasburg allowing 3 runs, 2 earned in 7 innings in a win over the Pirates last Wednesday. Struck out a season high 11 batters in his last outing. On the ground right side, Defoe will go to second base to get the lead runner, and that's all they'll get. As Hosmer will reach at first base, 1 down.
As Don mentioned, 29-year-old making his 8th start, the 3-time All-Star, his scouting report. 2 and 4 seam, curveball, changeup, really devastating. Why? Same arm slot, great arm action. He's a combination of power with command.
1 out, 1 on, and Franchy Cordero batting for the first time tonight and batting in the 3 spot for the Padres. Christian Villanueva getting the start of this game off tonight. Had a tough series in Mexico and a lot of demands on his time in the series in Mexico, of course, too.
Yeah, he was pulled every which way. Takes its toll.
So getting tonight off, at least the beginning of the game. That'll drop in there for a strike. And it's 0-2 to Cordero. Richie at 272, 6 homers and 14 runs batted in. Hosmer with a lead at first, not a big one. And that'll straighten up Cordero.
High fastball, also a pitch that Steven Strasburg has mastered over the years. With 2 strikes, he will make you chase.
That one in particular was 96 miles an hour. Here's a guy who can make you chase. Max Scherzer.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's not bad. Fortunately, the Padres will not see Max Scherzer in the series.
I mean, he's even intense when he chooses gum. Did you see that? Did you see the intensity in his face? Look at him.
He's an intense gum chewer.
That gum is taking a beating.
Yeah. From the stretch, Strasburg. Long pause, and now finally comes set. Downstairs, and full count now to Cordero. Had been 0-2.
And this is something we've seen from Franchy. Being patient, working walks.
Rafael Lopez waiting on deck in the cleanup spot tonight for the Padres.
Looks like a number 2 here. A little curveball, maybe. Some type of breaker.
Runner goes. That's strike 3. And now trying to get back is Hosmer. And he will be out at first base. Ends up being a double play. So strike him out, throw him out, double play. 1-0 Nats.
for 3 or 4 different guys that can take a base at any time. They got a lot of speed on the base pass, and for us, it's a matter of just getting strike one. You get strike one, you end up keeping guys off base more frequently. You pitch behind in the count to these guys. They can do damage. They can take walks and get on base. They can steal bases. So for us, getting ahead is probably the big thing.
Andy Green on the importance of working ahead against this dangerous Nationals offense, and the numbers bear it out. When they get ahead of the Nationals 0-1 in the account, their on-base percentage 295. When a pitcher falls behind 1-0, that jumps up to 413. We saw it in the first inning. Tyson threw strike one to every batter except for one, guys, Trey Turner. He's got his work cut out for him. Let's see if he can work ahead. Back up to you.
All right, Scan, thanks very much. Now the home run for Trey Turner, his 3rd of the year, and the difference in the game right now. Padres in a shift on the right side. Matt Wieters, the veteran switch hitting catcher, fouls it off.
It sounds so easy, doesn't it? Strike one. It's almost like a free throw. You got a free shot. I mean, nobody's in your face. There's no distractions, right?
But easier said than done.
Exactly. This game will drive you crazy.
It is amazing how much failure there is in the game. I mean, the fact that if you get a hit 3 out of 10 times over the course of your career, you'll likely be a Hall of Famer.
Right.
That means seven times
isn't that crazy?
You're not getting a hit.
And we talk about it all the time. You go a little deeper than that. You have a round object trying to square up a round object coming at you.
Now you're getting even too deep.
Yeah.
For me. That is ball 4 and a leadoff walk for Matt Wieters. And already the 2nd walk allowed tonight by Tyson Ross. So lead runner on, and Michael Taylor coming up.
Well, the last 3 times out for Tyson, 3 walks. At Arizona, at Colorado, at San Francisco. You know, if you can cut down maybe a walk a start, take your chances that way. See this position here, I mentioned the slider, first pitch slider. Maybe hit one on the ground, rolled over 2.
Now falling behind here at a 25 pitch first inning did Tyson Ross. Wieters at first, nobody out here in the 2nd inning.
And the aggressiveness as a hitter goes up a notch or 2 with each ball thrown first and second, like here, 2-0. Now that strike zone for Michael Taylor is starting to shrink a little bit to his liking. He's not probably going to offer it that nasty pitch down and away that's right at the knees. 2-0, right? He's going to probably wait for his pitch. Something he can drive.
Now falling behind 3-0. Trying to get him to chase that slider, and he did not. Look at the breakdown so far for Ross of the first 34 pitches he has thrown in this game. On the corner, and that's in there for a strike. Battles back, full count.
Well, 90, 91 with a little bit of movement right at the knees. Peas at the knees for Tyson Ross. That is actually a 4-seam fastball with a little bit of cut on it. Just a little bit.
40 strikeouts in 35 2/3 innings this season for him. So the pitcher Strasburg waiting on deck. Runner goes and fouled off to the right out of play.
Don, regarding that fastball, I mentioned it last start, I think, for Tyson Ross. His intent is to throw the 4-seam fastball. That's his intent, to throw the 4-seamer. And traditionally for the 4-seam, you stay on top of the ball and you get that rotation here. Well, for Tyson, sometimes he gets extended out there and it gets that little cut to it this way. So the rotation is a little bit more of a cut action. It just works to his advantage to avoid the barrel of the bat. It's not his intent to throw the cutter. It just kind of works that way sometimes.
Taylor with a late hack there, very defensive swing. And that little cut can make a big difference.
Think of the sweet spot on the bat, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just that little bit, whether it's 3 or 4 inches, 5 inches, if that.
It's huge.
It's really huge.
Eighth pitch of the at-bat coming up here from Michael Taylor. Long at-bats here for the Nationals early. They'll take it down the right field line, and that's headed out of play into the seats.
That's a good protection swing right there from Taylor. Did you see that down and away pitcher's pitch and just kind of not coming out of his shoes, but good bat control, going down and getting it and fouling off to get another crack at it.
Pitch 40 coming up here for Tyson Ross. Does not have an out yet here in the second inning. And it's chopped foul into the Nationals dugout. Of course, they're housed on the third base side here at Petco Park. The off pitch, see if the runner's off again, and Wieters at first base. He is not, and Taylor rolls another one foul, and this at bat continues.
We talk about frustrating for a pitcher. It's more frustrating for a pitcher, I would say, than a hitter. Well, Taylor's getting another chance. Again, a good pitch to maybe put in play and work first and third action here. Tyson Ross is thinking to himself, my goodness, I made a couple of good pitches here, but he's being a pest and fouling them off.
11th pitch of the at bat coming up here. And he went around and strikes out. So winning the battle is Tyson Ross. First strikeout of the night for Ross. One down here in the second inning.
Swing was geared for the fastball, looking for it. Tyson Ross puts the wrinkle in it, and Taylor cannot hold up.
Oh, yeah.
Really good pitch. Even better result. Ross wins the war.
Runner at first, one out, and Strasburg squaring already, and fouled it off, I think, at the dish.
Raffy very quick to that.
Trying to aggressively get out there and keep it fair. Now it's time now for our Valley View Casino trivia question.
Love it.
Steven Strasburg holds the San Diego State record for strikeouts in a single game. How many did he record? Tweet us your answers by the end of the inning using hashtag Valley View Trivia. You know the answer to that, Mr. I Love Trivia?
I don't.
They're crashing, and swinging is Strasburg. So no bunt there, and he fouls it off down the right field line.
I remember reading about that, but the number escapes me.
Strasburg at the plate this year, 2 for 13. Low and away, and it's 1-2. Interesting, and the Strasburg bats out of the 8 spot, and Dave Martinez really liking what Wilmer Defoe is doing from the 9 spot, so just leaving him there.
Acts as a leadoff hitter, right?
Yep.
Defoe. If he gets on base, which he's been doing with regularity, then Bryce Harper, you know, they really can't pitch around Bryce Harper because they don't want to put him on, then have first and second.
Strasburg trying to bunt with 2 strikes, fouls it off and strikes out. Second K for Tyson Ross. 2 down here in the second inning. And that'll bring up Wilmer Defoe. National second baseman. Totes a 289 average. Shortening up on the bat. 2 homers, 12 runs batted in. Now taking a look at strike 1. Defoe, a switch hitting middle infielder. Very strong throwing arm. And a ground ball softly hit. Somebody's got to cover it over as Tyson Ross. Nicely done to get over there. Hosmer Dove couldn't get it. Perella on to Ross. 1-0 Nationals.
Second inning, the Padres making some roster moves before the ball game today. Now, of course, they had a 26-man roster going down to Mexico, coming back. Javi Garrett was returned back to AAA El Paso, but another move in the bullpen. Kazuhisa Makita was sent down to AAA El Paso. In his place, Matt Strom was activated off the disabled list. He had a nice spring training, but because of the knee issue that he had last year, they wanted to extend him out to make sure that his pitch count was okay, that the knee was okay. They feel it's good. Matt Strom will now join the team and work out of the bullpen. One other note, guys, there has been a change in the starting rotation for the Padres. Andy Green announcing today that Brian Mitchell will now go to the bullpen as well. Taking his spot in the rotation will be Jordan Lyles. Guys, back up to you.
All right, Scant, thanks very much. Well, I think Jordan Lyles has done a very good job coming out of the pen, and I think he's probably earned this promotion. And the same can be said for Robbie Erlin, though, too. Sure. They both have done well in the long relief area.
And we know this is a long season. Anything can happen to have both those gentlemen into the rotation. But Jordan Lyles, you're right. The one thing that sticks out when you say his name to me, attack the zone. Fastball, all of his pitches, making short work of those hitters in that batter's box. He's used to doing that. And you know what, Don? For a starter to go to the bullpen, some guys can take that the wrong way. He did not.
We'll see how Brian Mitchell does coming out of the bullpen now and shortening up his outings, and whether that'll make a difference, because at times he's been very good. And you wonder if in small spurts there, whether or not he would be better suited coming out of the pen.
And we wish him well, because he's got a live arm and hopefully pay some dividends out of that bullpen.
Now Rafi Lopez. A big home run over the weekend and his first in a Padres uniform. 2 RBIs and a .222 average so far. He's being called up from AAA El Paso. Working on Travis Jankowski is Paul Navarro. Looks like they're just putting on a bandage there. Might have been on the sliding play that he made in foul ground, trying to make that catch earlier. 2-2 pitch coming up here to Lopez. And a swing and a miss as Lopez strikes out. Strasburg struck out Cordero to end the first, opens the second with a strikeout of Lopez.
Let's check out the Nationals defense, brought to you by your San Diego Cadillac dealers. Behind the plate, Matt Wieters, 2-time Gold Glove winner. He's looking all the rest of the guys in front of him. Anthony Rendon at third base, Trey Turner at short, Wilmer Defoe at second. Hey, it's Matt Adams at first. In the outfield, left to right, Howie Kendrick, Michael Taylor, Bryce Harper for the Nationals.
So one out here in the second brings up Chase Headley. He's the only guy looking at everybody else, isn't he?
Yeah. And he's the only guy in foul territory.
I don't think he should be. I think
right on top of home plate?
Well, no, if I was the manager, I would have somebody else in foul territory.
You can't do that. That's against the rules. You cannot position a player.
I can't have a player stand in foul ground down the left field line.
Other than the catcher, it is against the rules. It's in the rule book. You cannot position a player in foul territory.
It's a good thing I'm not a manager,
well,
then.
It's funny you say that, because I remember seeing a story recently, maybe within the last month. There was a Japanese team, because there was a runner on third, they positioned one of their guys back by the screen in the case of a wild pitch or a pass ball.
That's not a bad idea.
And you can't
do that. It's against the rules there, too.
Yeah, it's very,
2-1 pitch is fouled down the left field line. I guess that's why I haven't seen it before, because you can't.
See,
I wonder why.
There's this thing called a rule book.
Oh, I know. I've read it. It's terrible reading. I mean, it's awful reading.
If you're suffering from insomnia, it's a good way to break that.
Not even then. It becomes annoying, and then you won't go to sleep. Chase Headley getting his 5th start at third base. And the 2-2 is high for ball 3.
Talked to Chase in the dugout before the game, and like any game he starts or plays in, very, very anxious to get that start, get some consistent at-bats against Strasburg. He realizes he's got to be quick to the fastball.
It's got to be tough on him.
Yeah.
So used to playing every day. And that's ball 4. He'll work a 1-out walk. I know you love trivia. And it's time now to answer our Valley View Casino trivia question. Well, Steven Strasburg tonight holds the San Diego State record for strikeouts in a single game. How many did he record?
23.
And the answer is 23. April 2008 against Utah. Is that just a guess, or did you know?
Dude, That's a great day on the hill.
Yeah, it is.
Punching out 23. I don't care if you're in Little League. I know they only play 6 innings in Little League. If you strike out 18 in a game, you're doing something right. But at the college level, 23 punchies? That's something really special.
Pretty good indication he was going to be a major leaguer.
Yep.
Now dealing with Jose Perello with 1 out and 1 on here in the 2nd inning. It's a 1-0 Nationals lead here in the 2nd.
That's the thing that makes Stevens so effective. Going into this game, 46 2/3 innings pitched, 54 strikeouts, only 11 walks. But he's given up 8 home runs already this year. Last year, all of last year, he gave up 13. So more than half from last year already. And 7 of those have been on fastballs, the 8 home runs. So if you can get a fastball in the zone, go to hacking.
The Nationals have been getting very good starting pitching. Going 5-1 with a 1.95 earned run average in an 8-game span. Starters allowed 3 or fewer runs in each of those 8 games. Rounder foul over by the Nationals dugout. Pearl hanging tough here, down on the count 1-2.
That's an 88-mile-an-hour changeup. Mark Sweeney, our pregame show, talked about that changeup and the arm action. I mean, that had some serious down and in to the righty action to it.
On the ground towards second base, Defoe go to second for 1 on to first, and that is in time. 4-6 to 3 on the twin killing that ends the 2nd inning. Through 2, the Nationals have a 1-0 lead. Up to join us from the dugout. Eric, how you doing?
It's right here.
Hi,
how you doing? Yeah,
hey, Eric, how are you?
Trying to figure this out.
Okay.
See, it's really hard, isn't it? It shows you how tough a job we have.
There's a lot going on.
There is a lot of stuff going on. Hey, congratulations on your first victory. How did it feel?
Oh, Will. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
What did you say?
You can see him right there in the corner.
He's picking up the camera.
All right. I'm here.
I was just asking about your first victory. How did it feel? And had to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, the atmosphere down in Mexico was awesome, and it was nice to get it, my first one under my belt. Hopefully there's many more to come.
I think there will be, Eric. And I want to ask you about your first start and your second start. And Don made the point in Monterey. The conditions were a little bit better in Monterey as opposed to your first 2. How did you feel physically and mentally knowing that, you know, it's going to be warm out, you're going to be able to break a sweat?
It was a good feeling. I mean, I'm used to the colder weather though, so I mean that didn't affect me as much my first couple. But yeah, it was nice that I was able to get a nice little sweat going and get a little tack on the ball.
So now you're facing a lot of these teams for the first time. How hard has that been to learn the hitters? A lot of work, I would think, getting ready for each start against a new team.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more than you're used to. You see, there's a lot more information on all the hitters, and our catchers do a great job, and Balls does a great job of informing us because we've never seen them before. So they do a really good job of informing us on like what their weaknesses are and what their strengths are, and kind of how to pitch to everybody.
Eric, you mentioned the catchers and helping you out. How fortunate do you feel being able to throw to a veteran catcher like an A.J. Ellis, who's been around the league and knows these hitters?
It's helped me out tremendously so far. He calls a great game. I think I mean, him and Hedgie, we've all gotten together a lot, and I've kind of explained to them how I pitch because they're both still learning how I pitch. So for them to know the hitters and for me to be able to relax and kind of just throw my game out there is really helpful.
I want to talk a little bit about your relationship with Clayton Richard, too. It seems like he has taken kind of an elder statesman role here, a veteran to help you guys out, some of the new, younger guys.
Yeah, he's definitely a veteran that you want to be around because he's done it all, and there's a reason he's been here so long. So you definitely want to kind of stick close with him and try to pick his brain as much as possible. But a lot of people have kind of called him somewhat of like a father figure to us, but I think now being teammates with him, I don't want him to be more of a father figure, but I want him to be a veteran teammate that I can go to.
Has it helped to have Joey too around him and both you guys going through this at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, we came up together pretty much the whole way, and I mean, we've been great. We support each other 100%, so having him here, it kind of makes it a little less lonely, and I think he enjoys having me in the dugout so we can talk again. Eric,
I understand you have family watching quite a bit on Fox Sports San Diego. You got anybody at home you want to say hi to?
Yeah, my mom and dad, and I think my girlfriend's probably watching. She watches a lot of the games. Mom, Dad, Jordan, hi.
So they watch every game, not just the ones they're just big baseball fans, huh?
Oh, no, my dad's a huge baseball fan. So my mom, I don't know, she might be working or sleeping. So, but Jordan's probably watching. Dad's probably most definitely watching. So hello to them.
What's the one thing about your dad that you can recall that really sticks out in your upbringing as far as your baseball life?
Probably how on track he's always tried to keep me and try to make sure that I am able to reach my full potential and kind of not get off course as far as doing the things I need to do to get through college, to get to the pros, and be healthy the whole way through.
Has anything surprised you about the major league level that you didn't think would be here or since you've arrived?
No, you pretty much, you think it's kind of how I thought it would be. It's just amazing all around. There's really no bad part to it.
Eric Lauer, thanks so much for joining us. Congrats on your first win.
Thank you.
Because no matter where you serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
Last half of the third inning back at Petco Park in San Diego. Nationals have a 1-0 advantage over the Padres, with the Padres coming to bat here against Steven Strasburg. As Freddie Galvis leads it off. Our thanks to Eric Lauer for joining us from the dugout.
And hopefully many more Major League wins for the young left-hander. Good kid. It's kind of cool. His mom and dad and family watch all the time. And I think it's only appropriate we send along. You have one fine young man, fine son, raised him well. Nothing like being in the big leagues with your bud, huh?
That works out pretty well.
Yeah, it does.
I think it's good that they're both here, kind of bounce things off of each other and experience the same thing at the same times. I mean, I think that's really cool.
It's really good.
Yeah, I would imagine it helps. 1-2 coming up here to Freddie Galvis with Manuel Margot waiting on deck. And that'll dart down and in. 2-2.
Had a nice conversation with Freddie in the dugout before the game. And the subject was Larry Boa. I played for Larry here in '87 with the Padres, and of course he was with the Phillies. And how closely he worked with the former shortstop. Being in a routine, getting in a routine, and sticking with it.
Pops it up into shallow left. Rendon and Turner. Rendon in fair ground makes the catch for out number 1 of the third inning. Well, first out here of the inning for Strasburg. It's time for the Kia drive to success. Major League leaders, highest strikeouts per 9 innings. Steven Strasburg is 4th in that category, with Yu Darvish on top, Max Scherzer, his teammate, and Chris Sale. With Clayton Kershaw behind him. That's a great list.
And you know what? There's no sign of this kid slowing down either. He's into his 8th year at the big league level. Last year, 204 strikeouts. He surpassed the 200 mark before that back in 2014 when he struck out 242.
And that list compiled since 2012. And Juan Margot trying to get back on track. A tough go of it for Manuel.
It has. Now for me it seems like easy, not easy, it's never easy, but to try to shorten up and use the whole field, right, to try to break something out. You've got a great pitcher out there who can locate with the best of them, get something away, take it that way. Once again, easier said than done.
Foul down the right field line, out of play. 2-2.
You know what just occurred to me?
This is scary.
And I really like this. Matt Wieters, he's a big dude, and he gives you a great sign, a great target behind home plate.
It reminds me of Carlton Fisk in that regard.
Great call.
Being a big catcher.
I love that.
And a big target back there.
I mean, that's a big man back there. Carlton Fisk is right on. I love throwing to Mark Parent. He and I were teammates. Remember Bernie?
I do.
Hey, Mud.
Yes, sir.
Lance Parrish.
Oh, I threw to Lance in Seattle.
I had him in Philadelphia. Talk about a man that took up some space behind there, huh?
Deep third, Rendon off balance with a great throw. Nice play by the third baseman for the Nationals. Anthony Rendon, 2 down.
Wow. You know, when you're trying to get on track and you hit a ball down the line, you're thinking, okay, possibly extra bases. Well, Anthony Rendon, one swift move, off balance, and look where that ends up. Right at Matt Adams' chin. No, maybe his hat. You get the idea. It's an accurate throw. That's a great play, and Steven Strasburg appreciates that.
2 down here in the 3rd inning, and it brings up Tyson Ross, who has 2 hits on the year. He's 2 for 11. Yeah, Matt Wieters listed at 6'5", 225 pounds.
That's a keeper.
His first 8 years in the big league spent as a member of the Baltimore Orioles. In his 2nd year with the Washington Nationals. Played 123 games last year for the Nats, catching.
Yeah, Bob Scanlon made a great comparison. Lance Parrish.
How much closer do you feel to the
That's a great
glove, huh?
Exactly.
I feel like I'm 50 feet away with a big catcher back there.
You know what? You're exactly right. It's like the backdrop. If it's closer to home plate, it's like you can just place that ball where you want to, but the bigger the catcher, you bet.
And the slider in the dirt, better chance of it hitting a chest protector?
Yep.
Slow roller off is Strasburg, who will plant and throw in time to retire Tyson Ross. Through 3, the Nationals have a 1-0 lead. Padres baseball brought to you by Cadillac. Visit your San Diego Cadillac dealers today. By Petco, the pet company. And by Sequan Casino. Opening in 2019 is Sequan's brand new 300-room resort and hotel. 1-0 Nationals have the lead as we head to the top half of the 4th inning, and Mark Sweeney is in the house.
Hola.
How are you, brother?
Great.
Good to see you.
Welcome back.
There's no place like home.
How good did that feel when you touched down in San Diego?
Very good.
I love that feeling.
Oh, it was great.
And
It's great to be home.
A short trip home for you, which is good.
Yes, it was very nice. Very nice to be back and back here tonight, especially. But we had a good time. It was fun. It really was. It was
Good
a cool
atmosphere. I thought it was cool.
People were great, gracious, friendly. Couldn't have worked out better.
And the Padres took 2 out of 3. Swinging away here to begin the inning is Matt Adams. In from left is Cordero. And he'll make the catch out there for the first out of the 4th inning. That's now 7 in a row retired by Tyson Ross. He is settled in. The problem is pitch count very high at 63 through 3 1/3. Through almost 50 pitches in the first 2 innings tonight.
Last time out 102, prior to that at Colorado 94, so he's good for 100 plus. Needs some quick innings. I think maybe there was a little bit of residuals from that 127 pitch effort.
Yeah. You'd assume that would happen, right?
Howie Kendrick fouling it off to the right out of play.
You know, the adrenaline starts pumping. You start to exert more energy, and it's almost like when you have that time to relax the next day, the next start, I think it kind of takes its toll.
Yeah, it's almost like playing an extra inning game, and you have those games during the year that it's extended.
A liner the other way into right center field for Kendrick. And Jankowski, a little bit of a bobble, but no further advance for Kendrick. So one out single breaks up the string of 7 in a row retired by Ross. And that'll bring up Matt Wieters. So some moves today by the Padres with Makita going down. Did that surprise you?
It did surprise me a little bit. Obviously going through some struggles. I think the bullpen was used a lot in the month of March and April. So you would see some regression at times, but I understand that it was probably against the left-handed hitters that they would like to have him make some adjustments. So go down there, be able to work on those type of things, which I think Bronswell Patrick does a phenomenal job down in AAA. It's just a way of just trying to do it and making those adjustments without having the pressures of trying to make pitch after pitch for Makita.
I think that one pitch that he'll probably work on is that fastball up and in to lefties. I mean, think about it. Hitter, and you know this, Mark, you're so tuned into off the cap with the release point, right? Well, he should be effective coming down from under. Now he's got to learn how to locate that. So that location with that angle coming up into a lefty, I think that'd be tough to square up and hit.
Yeah, I always wondered in making adjustments, obviously not knowing anything about the pitching element of trying to just make changes even with arm angles. I know he comes from down under, but even modify that a little bit, given different looks and possibly get some different movement when it comes down to that. But when it really does, that side armor against the lefty, it's a little bit easier to pick up that release point. That's the problems that he's had in the organization's mind.
Fly ball headed out towards right center field. Margot and Jankowski come together, and Jankowski right in front of Margot at the last moment. Margot peeled off, and there are 2 outs in the inning.
You know, that's the challenge when you have 2 center fielders out there and they're so used to having that priority. Jankowski known for being a center fielder predominantly his whole life, and Manny Margot being out there. It's kind of that power struggle that these guys already know. You got to have communication. Very important in the outfield.
So 2 down. Kendrick still at first. Brings up Michael A. Taylor. Over to first, and Kendrick back to the bag.
Well, Don, you talked about the pitch count for Tyson Ross. This was the hitter that really he couldn't put away for a lot of those pitches. I think it was 11 pitches to Taylor.
Oh, a slow start to his season offensively, hitting at just 193. First pitch strikes to 12 of 16 for Tyson Ross on the night. Flared foul off to the right out of play, and it's 0-2.
Mark, I wanted to ask you about Tyson Ross. It's not necessarily the velocity we've seen and been accustomed to when he was pitching here before the injury. Is that a problem for him, or what has he been doing differently in your opinion?
He's got to learn how to locate. I'm not saying reinvent himself, but when you lose those ticks, you can't get away with that fastball over the outer third maybe, or even maybe down the plate. It has that little different giddy up to it. So in my opinion, I think he's got to learn how to locate a little more. That'll come with repetition. But the slider anytime I think should negate that if he can throw it consistently for strikes.
1-0 Nationals. We head to the bottom of the 4th.
run with it. I'm going to do all I can to get on base, and whether that's getting hit by a pitch, walking, getting hit, or getting on by an error. I feel like with Hazen and two-hole, if I can get on base and distract that pitcher a little bit, good things are going to happen, and good things have been happening when I get on there. So that's the main goal for me, is always get on base and cause some ruckus.
The Padres have been looking for somebody to cause some ruckus in that leadoff spot all season long. Travis Jankowski is the 7th man they've used in that #1 spot. The Padres coming into the series last in all of Major League Baseball in that #1 spot in terms of the on-base position. But since Travis has taken it over, he's reached base at a .462 clip over the first 3 games. And, of course, he led things off with a single to get this game going, guys. Very important to have that spark plug, is it not?
Well, it sure is, Scan, and being aggressive as that leadoff position, but also being able to take pitches when you have to lead off this inning, much like this one here. He was aggressive in his first at bat.
He's got the only hit so far in this game for the Padres against Steven Strasburg. An opposite field hit through the left side and into left field.
I think people don't realize that he's had to reshape his hitting stance and really eliminate that leg kick. It was a big leg kick last year. Modified it during spring training, and now he's starting to see the benefits. It takes a while.
I think one of the things also, if I'm pitching a guy like Travis Jankowski, I've got to be aware if he really learns how to make that bunt to bring it with him. If he could deaden it perfectly down the third baseline, that is such a weapon. There's nothing more frustrating for a pitcher than when you have a guy up there who, A, has a great command of the strike zone, because then you start to nitpick a little bit. And if you do hit the strike zone, he's going to spray the ball on the line to all fields. He's not just one-dimensional.
Swing and a miss, and it is 2-2.
Well, obviously not this position because he has 2 strikes, but Rendon moving back in that position. You see him at third base, puts so much pressure on the third baseman and opens so many holes. Now with 2 strikes, they get to normal depth.
That's going to miss. A full count now here to Travis Jankowski, leading it off in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Like any leadoff hitter, it's always good to work a full count. You see a lot of pitches for the next guy. Hopefully he can pick something up.
Hosmer waiting on deck. And this one sliced foul outside the bag at third.
He wants to cause a ruckus.
I love ruckus.
I heard a ruckus. Can you explain the ruckus?
Payoff pitch coming up here again. And a foul again off to the left out of play. 8th pitch of the at bat coming up for Travis Jankowski. Offensively, he looks like a different guy this time back to the big leagues.
He does, more comfortable, and obviously coming off that award before he got called up in AAA.
That's another one foul off to the left, hanging tough.
And this is what drives pitchers batting.
50th pitch of the game coming up for Steven Strasburg. Dealing with his first hitter here at the bottom of the 4th inning.
So many times we talk about shortening your swing. This is what Travis Jankowski's doing now. Almost playing pepper because of the velocity of Strasburg.
On the ground, right side and through into right field. A base hit for Travis Jankowski, his 2nd hit of the night. 2 for 2 in the ball game. That was a 9-pitch at bat before getting that base hit into right field.
Well, what's great about Travis Jankowski, you saw earlier being able to foul pitches off, very difficult. Breaking ball, a lot easier when it's elevated to make that adjustment. First at bat, he goes the other way. This one, he pulls into the hole. It's a nice night in the big leagues. And now for Steven Strasburg, that frustration is added because the leadoff hitter is on.
So Jankowski at first base, held on by Adams. And here's Eric Hosmer, grounded into a fielder's choice first time up, and quick check on Jankowski.
That's ruckus.
Yeah. Cause it.
Hosmer had a very nice series in Mexico. Keep it going here in the homestand for the Padres. Runner goes, pitches a strike, and the throw not in time. Travis Jankowski stealing second base and getting into scoring position with nobody out in the inning.
Don, you know what that is? This is ruckus. What a great jump by Travis Jankowski. He's got the lean. That's what I love, and the nice head first slide.
Just get those fingers up, right? You don't want to jam those fingers into the bag.
Jankowski with that lead off second base represents the tying run.
Changeup at 88.
Hosmer now, Cordero next. Padres batting here in the home half of the fourth inning.
Well, he wants to drive in that run, but worst case scenario, maybe pull that ball to the right side, get him over to third base with fewer than 2 outs.
On the ground to first base, and Adams will take it to the bag himself, and just as you said, Mud, moved him over as Jankowski takes third. A productive out there for Eric Hosmer. At third with less than 2 outs, and it'll bring up Franchy Cordero. Franchy struck out swinging in the first, 0 for 1. Franchy with 6 home runs so far in the year for the Padres, and hitting in the 3 spot in tonight's order. 95 and a little bit up.
Yeah, and that fastball's for show. Just trying to get him off of the changeup he would like to go to. Trying to work for a ground ball here in this situation. Cordero's trying to elevate.
Let's check in with Bob.
Hey, Swings, question for you. Great at bat by Travis Jankowski, and he defied the odds. Usually when Strasburg gets 2 strikes on somebody, he puts them away. Now the question is, are you better off trying to be aggressive in the count against Strasburg? Opposing hitters have hit 403 against him in the first 2 pitches. Or, like some people are trying to argue most of the time, you got to work the count and be patient. Against a guy like Strasburg, what's your take?
Yeah, I believe in being aggressive, but also being aggressive with your strength. I think that's so important in the message that is being sent.
Hopper to second base. Defoe will go to first, and Jankowski in the back door from third ties this game 1-1.
That's what you like to see. High fives, hard to hold back the smiles in that Padre dugout. Get him on, get him over, get him in.
Franchy Cordero on the ground up picks up the RBI, his 15th. And the game is tied 1-1.
Mark, I'm sure you've heard that around the batting cage all your playing days, right? Hey, get him over, get him in, right?
Yeah, it's really team baseball, and I love seeing that. Goes back to Bob's point. You want to be aggressive early in the count, but you also want to work the count against Steven Strasburg. How you do that is maintaining your plan of attack. He's going to give you mistakes to hit. You just got to be ready for those, and if you can up that pitch count, you benefit later in the game.
Rafi Lopez with a swing and a miss, 0-2.
Now, so many people think it's always take mode, and that's very difficult because, as you know, Mark, when you start getting behind in counts to a talent like Steven Strasburg, they're going to put you away. They're going to embarrass you.
Like you said, he's second in the pregame show. His electric secondary stuff, and he's got 2, the curveball and the changeup.
Strasburg has slowed it up here, but he's jumped ahead 0-2. 2 down in the bottom of the 4th inning. Lopez reaches out, protects the plate, and fouls it off to the left out of play. Eric Lilliquist, the pitching coach for the Nationals, looking on. It's 60 for Strasburg, and that's outside. Dave Martinez, who's made a big difference here so far for the Nationals. New manager.
Did you guys think that all those years being the bench coach for Joe Madden, that it was only a matter of time before Dave Martinez became a manager?
Yeah, I did. Now, obviously, you always hear those names that are in the interviewing process. Dave Martinez has always been mentioned in a lot of those job opportunities. Finally gets his chance.
Going around is Lopez to strike out. It's a third K for Strasburg, and it ends the inning. But the Padres get a run and time to score at 1. As we look at Padres on deck, the week of April 30th through May the 6th. How about 8 home runs in a week? Is that good? Franmil Reyes is just killing PCL pitching, and in El Paso, we saw him during spring training, and a guy that's got a great deal of power. What a week. The player of the week in the PCL.
It's a large human.
It really is. And did you notice a common theme of those home runs? Breaking ball, opposite field. Fastball, opposite field. Fastball, opposite field. That's some serious pop.
Steven Strasburg leading it off, batting out of the 8th spot after the Padres have tied this game. Strasburg striking out swinging in the 2nd inning, one of the 4 strikeouts that Tyson Ross has on the night. .75 pitches for Ross, dealing with his first hitter here of the 5th inning. Grounder to second, and Perella. First out here, the 5th inning. Well, terrific news around Major League Baseball. Danny Farquhar, of course, released from the hospital earlier today after being treated for a ruptured aneurysm. Doctors say he may play baseball again in the future, but will not participate in the 2018 season in order to allow him to fully recover. And that's certainly great news for Danny Farquhar. I know everybody praying for him when it took place. It was a very scary situation.
Yeah, especially with Seattle being in town, former Seattle Mariner. I know our friend Rick Renteria, a big part of his, that whole healing process for the organization, but great news, him coming out of the hospital.
I have never met Danny Farquhar, but I tell you what, just being in the baseball world and part of the baseball family, your heart just bursts with joy in receiving that news, because it was a nasty situation. So everybody's happy.
This one grounded back to Tyson Ross. A bobble. Better hurry. And he does. Nicely done. Stayed with it. Able to get the speedy Wilmer Defoe. And there are 2 outs here in the 5th inning. Time now for the tools of the trade, brought to you by Ram Trucks. Got to go back to April 16th for this broken bat home run for Bryce Harper.
Mark Sweeney, I've never seen anything like this. And there it is on contact, down by the label, but yet Bryce Harper has enough power to send it on its way into the bullpen. And he's carrying it like a baton in the 400-meter relay.
Unreal. Jacob deGrom, obviously known for that fastball velocity, which helps. Thought that bat was probably broken beforehand, but nothing this young man can't do on the field.
Well, the shift on him here on the right side do the Padres defensively. And they bring Chase Headley from third base to the right side. And Freddie Galvis on the left side. In the air, down the left field line, foul.
What do you guys think about him being leadoff, though?
The way it's worked out with Defoe in the number 9 spot and the way that Dave Martinez has manufactured that lineup, I think the proof is right there in front of us. It's worked quite well.
0 for 2 in tonight's game, but he's hit the ball sharply twice, lining out to second and lining out to right. Now he hits one. Diving from short right is Perella. Throw on a hop, pick by Hosmer. What a play. Gets Bryce Harper. He was lined up in the shift but had to make a diving play in shallow right, and then the throw gets there in time, and Hosmer helps him out. Bryce Harper is out 4-3 from short right. Full extension for Perella. Padres, Nationals tied at 1. To the bottom of the 5th inning, and Chase Headley to lead it off. Headley walked in the 2nd inning, the only free pass served up by Steven Strasburg of his outing. Good numbers for Chase Headley in the past against Strasburg. When the Padres hit 2 home runs in a single game, tweet at Fox Sports San Diego using the hashtag #HitToGetTo for your chance to win a new Hankook tires. Brought to you by Evans Tire and Service Centers. (0-2) to Headley, and a swing and a miss, and Headley strikes out. That's 4 Ks now for Steven Strasburg. 1 down here in the 5th.
That is a power curveball there. That's 12-6. See the rotation there. Actually, you know, that's more like 2 to 8, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, 2 to 8.
You look at that. If you look at a clock, 1-7 maybe.
So one down here in the 5th, and it brings up Jose Perella. Pops it up. Foul ground first base way. Matt Adams over by the seats, but won't have a play. Photographer's well over there.
Andy, way to get in the way, Andy.
Andy's sporting the hoodie tonight.
Must be cold down there.
It's a great look.
Jose Perella batting for the 2nd time against Strasburg. Bounced into a 4-6-3 double play first time up. Two double plays in this game for the Nationals defensively. Here's a grounder back up the middle into center field. Base hit for Jose Perella. He's doing it all now. Had a nice defensive play last inning. Now chipping in offensively.
Four-seamer. Right down the middle. Love the ground ball to the center fielder.
Now 1 on, and it brings up Freddie Galvis. As Perella gains his lead, Adams holding him on at first base.
Mark, before you came in here, I was talking about Freddie Galvis during his first at bat about Larry Bowa and how influential he was to Freddie in Philadelphia. And that how he got him into a routine, and how every day he had to do the same thing and take a lot of grounders, and just the mindset of being prepared for a game. And you could just tell when Freddie was talking about that, you knew exactly what he was talking about.
Yeah, it's amazing that so many people, you would think it's easy to come up with a routine. It has a lot to do with results and how you feel as a big leaguer and when you fit in. And sometimes it takes guys longer. You know, they're still searching for that result. Usually it's offensively. But when you start thinking about the premier position at shortstop, Freddie Galvis knows every time what it takes to be ready every single day. And we know he's going to be in that lineup.
Elevates at 93, and Galvis down 0-2.
He likes to change speeds on that fastball. He's a mathematician, adding and subtracting. He's touched 96, throws that fastball at 93, and believe me, those 3 ticks, a little extra, it's a big difference.
Not a huge strikeout night for him so far. 4 strikeouts through 4 1/3 innings. He's at 70 pitches. Runner goes, and Galvis swings and fouls it back out of play.
That was a pretty good jump, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Got to take those chances, especially against guys that have the talent of Steven Strasburg. Jose Perella getting a good jump on that 0-2 pitch. Too close for Freddie Galvis to take.
Perella with that lead at first with 1 down here in the 5th, and they'll check on him, and back to the bag at first is Perella.
Yeah, paying attention to him now might give Freddie Galvis another fastball to attack.
Gaining that lead again. Got the oven mitt going over there at first base. Fouled off again, and Galvis hanging tough. 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
I got the fastball there. Let's see if he goes to the breaking ball the next pitch. That was a mistake by
And Galvis fouled it off. The base hit by Perella broke up a string of 4 in a row retired by Strasburg. And 9 of the last 10. On the ground towards second base. Defoe will go to second for 1, to first, no. No chance to get Galvis, so no throw. They do get the lead runner in Perella. For the second out here at the bottom of the 5th inning.
Now, typically you don't see these guys go in hard now because of the sliding rule around second base. Jose Perella looked like he went in. If you take a look at a quick slide for Perella, getting Trey Turner's attention, not being able to turn that double play.
2 down, Galvis at first, and Manuel Margot coming up. Grounded out to third base in the 3rd inning, 0 for 1. What are you seeing from Manuel Margot?
Well, obviously that's a confidence issue when it comes down to it. Last year, so many things went right early in the season, but now it's just trying to maintain that consistency. It's been a struggle for him at times. I still believe in Manny Margot, but really confidence has a lot to do with success at this level.
Really felt like based on what he did last year, this year was going to be a huge year for him, and this has not started off well, especially offensively.
Yeah, sophomore slump for me in this time, but I believe in Manny Margot. I believe he can make those adjustments. Maybe he's trying to elevate the ball too much at times. You hear so much about launch angle. He's got that flat swing approach, and being able to slash it all over the ballpark is important for him. That's his strength.
And you know what I've seen is not, and I'm not just talking about Manuel here, but a group of hitters to where the swing really hasn't changed according to the count.
Runner goes, and that pitch is up and away. Throw down to second base, and out at second is Freddie Galvis, caught stealing to end the 5th inning. Tied at 1 through 5. Fast start for the Nationals, and Trey Turner, who homered in the 1st inning, onto the bullpen in left center field, gave the Nationals a 1-0 advantage, and some pretty good defense turned in on both sides in this game. How about Anthony Rendon from foul ground, able to throw out Margot, and the Padres would tie it up on this ground out to the right side for Franchi Cordero. Jankowski scores and ties the game 1-1, and a nice defensive play by the Padres to rob Bryce Harper as Perella with a one-hopper to first, and Hosmer picks it out. Tyson Ross loved it. The Padres and Nationals tied up 1-1. Steven Strasburg 5 innings, giving up 1 earned run. Tyson Ross 5 innings, 1 earned run, and Turner and Jankowski offensively for the Nationals and Padres. There's 2 hits in this game for Travis Jankowski, going 2 for 2.
You know, pitching wise, guys, both these guys' first pitch strikes are a big key. As Tyson falls behind prior to that pitch, Tyson 15 for 19 first pitch strikes. Steven Strasburg 14 out of 17.
Trey Turner, who we just showed you his home run in the first, leading it off here in the 6th inning. Home run for Turner, his 3rd of the year. Then would strike out in the 3rd inning, and Tyson Ross about to throw his 85th pitch of the night.
Now, this is the guy you want to keep off the base paths, and does a lot with the stolen base and very fast when it comes down to it, but it's a big weapon because the Washington Nationals lead the league in stolen bases.
Well, on 4 pitches, a leadoff walk here for Trey Turner. Pretty much the last thing Tyson Ross wanted to do.
Trey Turner, Wolfpack, NC State. Dan Plesac, Wolfpack. Trying to think about other guys.
Trey Turner walking. That's a 3rd walk given up by Ross. And here's Anthony Rendon. He'll take strike 1. 0 for 2 in the game. He's flied out twice to the Padres left fielder, and both times Franchy Cordero on left field up to the task.
Yeah, most base stealers want to push the envelope early in a count. See if Trey Turner takes this pitch here for an opportunity just to set in motion.
You know, they'll hit and run a lot too, Dave Martinez. You know, not only does this national team have the threat of hitting the long ball, but they'll do things to be aggressive, like you said, Mark, on the base paths.
They can shorten the game too with the bullpen that he has if they have a lead. Their big 3 in the tail end, boy, it makes it very difficult as they try to grab a lead here in the 6th inning. This one fouled off to the right out of play, 0-2.
Kinsler, Madsen, Doolittle, right?
Indeed. Combination put together last year by the Nationals when the bullpen really was. You looked at that team last year and you said, boy, what do they need to improve on? They needed the back end of the rotation, or the back end of the bullpen, to be better. They went out and did that at the end of the year. Didn't take them far enough in the postseason, though. This one is driven to left field hard. Cordero back, and that one's off the wall. Knocks it down. Trying to score from first is Turner. He can fly, and the Nationals take a 2-1 lead. Well, you look up, and Turner, who is at first base, all of a sudden is coming around 3rd on that double off the wall in left, and scores without a problem. He can flat out fly, and the Nationals take a 2-1 lead.
Well, you see the breaking ball elevated, easy for Rendon to capitalize on that pitch. I thought Cordero put himself too close to that outfield wall. You can see it ricocheting off and him just trying to lay it down. That gives Trey Turner to show off his speed, and that is so impressive.
So Rendon at second base. The Nationals have taken a lead now, looking for more as Matt Adams stands in. Adams with a walk in the first inning, flied out to left in the 4th inning. As Rendon gets his lead. Trying to pick up that outside corner. Could have gotten it, but didn't.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm still in awe of that speed we just saw on Trey Turner.
It was pretty incredible.
There's not many of us that can run like that.
1-2 to Matt Adams, a former Cardinal. Adams breaking into the big leagues in 2012 with St. Louis. Then went to Atlanta last year for 100 games, was a Brave. Hits one high and deep to right field. Down towards the pole, and that ball is going to be gone. A 2-run home run for Matt Adams, and very quickly here, the Nationals are on top 4-1. 9th home run of the year for Matt Adams.
Tyson Ross was ahead 1-2. And I don't think it's so much the pitch, it's the location of the pitch, because Raffy wants that one down by the back foot. That's one of those pitches that Tyson Ross is known for when he gets ahead. See the positioning of Raffy, but he has to go inner third. The ball leaks, speeds up his bat, keeps it fair.
Now a liner to left field for Howie Kendrick, and that's going to one-hop the wall. Cordero over to play it. Kendrick headed for second base. The throw is going to be close, but not in time. In at second with a double is Kendrick. And some big swings here for the Nationals in the 6th inning off Tyson Ross.
You know, and those big swings have been on breaking balls that have been elevated. See Kendrick making that adjustment.
Others have had nobody warming, and now they get somebody jumping up as Darren Balsley heads to the mound.
The location on the slider has not been there these last 3 hitters.
That's Strom, rapid fire, just got up in the pen. And just back with the Padres as Matt Wieters coming up here for the Nationals. Wieters walked in the 2nd inning, flied out to right in the 4th inning. And his 3rd look at Tyson Ross. Lines one to right field, and that's going to get in for a base hit. From second comes Howie Kendrick. He will score. Throw goes to second, and the Nationals take a 5-1 lead. They've scored 4 times already here in the 6th inning with nobody out.
This looks like another slider that just kind of rolls up there. Let's check it out of the hand. Yes, sir. Slider. And on contact out in front, right down the middle of the plate. Just doesn't have that bite to it. And the location. You know, if you're going to, if it's going to leak towards the middle, it better have some bite to it. That one just kind of rolled up there.
Michael Taylor coming up 0 for 2. He has struck out twice in this game, and Tardy on the fastball for strike 1. Third time through here for the Nationals, and it has been a different story in the 6th inning. Skied foul down the right field line, out of play. Started with a leadoff walk to Trey Turner on 4 pitches. RBI double by Anthony Rendon. 2-run shot by Matt Adams. Double by Howie Kendrick. RBI single by Matt Wieters. And just like that, the Nationals have a 5-1 lead. 0-2 to Taylor. And that is on the outside corner for strike 3. Tyson Ross needed that. 1 down.
Mark Sweeney, we talk about hitters and when they get a breaking ball that just doesn't break the way it should be in poor location, it speeds up their bat. They're able to get out in front of it and pull the ball, and that's been the case here for Tyson Ross. The hits we just saw there, all on the breaking ball, the slider, that have just caught too much of the plate.
Yeah, I think the Rondon one really hurt because of that 2-strike count. He drills it off the wall, and Trey Turner used his speed. But the location's not there. You wonder if he's tiring, and also this will be his 100th pitch. His next offering.
Season high 5 runs allowed by Ross in the game tonight. And this is pitch number 100, and that'll miss to Strasburg. Strasburg, the 7th member of the Nationals to bat here in the 6th inning. Look at the breakdown for Tyson Ross as he reaches the century mark tonight.
You know, you pitch 25 pitches in an inning. That's quite the workload. It can take its toll later on in the game.
And 25 in the first, nearly 50 through 2. He'd thrown 48 in the first 2 innings. Strasburg fouling it off, staying alive here.
Well, they'd really like to have him get through this inning because the pitcher spot's up second in the bottom of the 6th.
First 2 innings, guys. 25-23. In that 3rd, 4th, 5th, exactly where you want to be. Next one here in the 6th, 21.
Back towards the mound, Tyson Ross will go to first base for the out on Strasburg as Wieters takes second base. So 2 down, Wieters in scoring position, and Wilmer Defoe coming up. This game was tied 1-1 heading into the 6th inning. So far, 4 runs collected by the Nationals here in the 6th. Defoe batting out of the 9th spot has grounded out twice. Defoe, the 8th member of the Nationals to bat here in the 6th inning. In there for a strike. Not where he wanted it, but it did drop in there. 1-1. Adams with a 2-run shot as part of this inning. And quite the attack here by the Nationals. Defoe 1 around and down 1-2. 25th pitch of the inning coming up. Strom appears ready in the pen. Should Ross not get Defoe here? And a swing and a miss. It gets away briefly from Lopez. Got to throw him out and does. 4-run inning for the Nationals, who lead it 5-1. for the bottom of the 6th inning. Time now for the San Diego fans of the game. Petco Park tonight. Padres happy to be home again. And beginning a long homestand. First game tonight against the Washington Nationals. A little on the cool side here tonight. Steven Strasburg now has a 4-run lead with which to work. Manuel Margot will lead it off. Total of 76 pitches for Strasburg through the first 5, and the complexion of this one has changed rather quickly. Manuel Margot grounded out to third base in the 3rd inning. 0 for 1. Carlos Suaje has come out on deck. He would bat in the pitcher's spot. Seven pitches for Tyson Ross in the game tonight. Things are going pretty well. Just the 1 run through the first 5 innings. To right field, and Harper's not going to get to this. It gets down and 1 hops the wall. Gets away from Harper, so Margot turns on the speed and heads for third base. He will get there without a problem. A triple to right field for Manuel Margot opens up the bottom of the 6th inning.
Well, we've seen some flashes by Manny Margot. This is what you come to expect because of last year. See, that balance is perfectly balanced, but he's slashing the ball with that flat approach. You can see him backspinning it, almost cutting the ball in half. Gets that travel to right field. And then you get to see his speed with Manny Margot with the triple.
90 feet away, and Carlos Suaje now the batter. Seen most of his playing time recently coming off the bench to pinch hit. Although he did get a start in Mexico. 194 average, 2 homers, 11 runs batted in. Into his 35th game of a possible 36. Popped up foul off to the left out of play. Seeing a lot of his starts at second base be taken by Jose Pirela. Tyson Ross looking on here. 0-2 pitch coming up. Suaje lifts the fly ball to center field. Taylor moving back and under makes the catch as Margot heads plateward, and the throw to the plate is not in time. Good throw though from center from Taylor. Sac fly. Suaje picks up an RBI, and it's now 5-2 Nationals as the Padres get one back.
Nice easy swing from Carlos as he gets something, work underneath to send it to the outfield, but don't stop there. It's a high changeup. Gets enough of it to prevent the pop-up in the outfield. Now watch Michael Taylor. He sets up, and you know what? This is a nice one-hop throw for how deep this ball was hit. That's why you got to hustle 90 feet, and Manuel Margot did just that.
One down here in the 6th inning. Travis Jankowski will ground one right side to Defoe for out number 2. First time they've retired Jankowski. So 2 down, and it'll bring up Eric Hosmer. Hosmer 0 for 2 tonight. Grounded into a fielder's choice in the 1st, and grounded out to first base in the 4th inning. Pitch will be the 85th for Strasburg of his outing. Fouls it off himself, and Hosmer down 0-2. The breakdown for Strasburg in his outing through 5 2/3 innings. That was only the 6th sacrifice fly this season for the Padres. They entered the game tied for the 2nd fewest of any team in Major League Baseball. And Suaje able to get that run in on the sac fly to center field. Just off the outside edge. Swing and a miss, and Hosmer strikes out. 5 strikeouts for Strasburg. Padres get a run back, 5-2 Nationals. In the shift here on Bryce Harper on the right side and in short right field, diving to make this play fully extended in front of his knees. Go to first base. Nice pick there by Hosmer, and really appreciating it was Tyson Ross as they get Bryce Harper. That was back in the 5th inning. It's on to the 7th inning, and Matt Strom comes into the game here to make his Padres debut.
Enter number 55. Good for Matt. Bouncing back from knee surgery. A little bit of time in the big leagues with the Kansas City Royals back in 16 and 17.
He was part of the deal that brought Travis Wood over, and saw Ryan Buchter, Trevor Cahill, and Brandon Maurer go to the Kansas City Royals July 24th of last year.
And pretty good splits too. Righties almost 300, but lefties 150s. From North Dakota, West Fargo, North Dakota.
First hitter he will face is Bryce Harper. I thought they retired 55.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
I didn't know it was in the available list.
No, the guy who wore it.
Spencer Dollins handing out a retired number?
Yeah, no.
Really?
The guy who wore it a long time ago was tired, but
not retired?
The number not retired.
2-0 pitch is going to miss. And it's 3. I don't know about this. I think someone should talk to Spencer.
You think?
This is kind of a big deal.
Well, hopefully Matt Strom wears that number well and does well on the hill. You can see where he's been, can be effective. I mean, 94, 95. I mean, a lot of kneecaps and elbows coming at you. Goes from the third base side of that pitcher's plate.
4 did miss by a lot. Just a little bit low, and a leadoff walk for Bryce Harper. As the 4th walk allowed by Padres pitching in the game as Tyson Ross departs after 6 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs. Walked 3, struck out 6, and on the hook as Trey Turner is coming up here now for the Nationals. Well, check swing grounder headed towards second. Perella will go to second for the force out there. And Harper went in pretty hard. Galvis jumping up over him. They do get the lead runner in Bryce Harper, 4-6 on the force out.
In a situation like that, the runner has to yield to the fielder. Perella catches, and that angle really tells you that it really wasn't that close. Being a force play, just get it to Galvis for the force out.
Just 1 on, 1 out.
Still good concentration from Perella.
Anthony Rendon, who doubled to drive in the go-ahead run for the Nationals in the 6th inning. He'll take strike 1. Rendon 1 for 3. In there for strike 2, 0-2. Hosmer holding on. Trey Turner at first base. And a liner to left field. Struck well, and that ball is going to one-hop the wall. There goes Turner again with his speed, getting to third without a problem. Into second base goes Rendon with his 2nd double of the game, and it's 2nd and 3rd now with 1 out for Washington.
It looked like that last pitch, a breaking ball from Matt Strom. He really slowed up his arm action, and hitters can pick up on that. And once again, that seems to be one of the themes tonight with the breaking ball to these Nationals hitters. Not burying that breaking ball where wanted. Tyson Ross threw some breaking balls that caught too much of the plate. That one lefty on righty into the swing path of Rendon. 2nd and 3rd for the Nats.
Matt Adams coming up with the infield in all the way around now for the Padres. Adams walked in the 1st inning. Flied out to left in the 4th, and the 2-run home run in the 6th inning. His 9th home run of the year. RBIs 19 and 20. In the air to right field. Jankowski going back, and that ball is gone. Adams has hit his 2nd home run of the night. This one's a 3-run shot. And now it is 8-2 Washington. Home run number 10 of the year for Matt Adams.
The Nationals are crushing the breaking ball tonight. And it's just a matter of poor location. Doesn't mean you can't throw the breaking ball. Just not in the right spot.
So still 1 out in the inning. Bases now cleared. And Howie Kendrick will take strike 1. Quickly down 0-2. A little bit high, 1-2. Swing and a miss, and able to strike out Howie Kendrick. 2 down here in the 7th inning. First strikeout for Matt Strong.
MLB At Bat is your #1 Padres app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Padres home screen icons and features such as MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today.
Wieters has walked, fly to right, and single to right. Well, the left-hander in there, he switches around to now bat from the right side.
Mentioned that Matt Strom was born in West Fargo, North Dakota. Other notables?
What do you got?
Darren Erstad.
That's a good one.
Travis Hafner. Remember Travis Hafner?
I sure do.
Cleveland
Indians.
Yep. Rick Helling.
Swinging a foul tip and a full count down. What a night for Matt Adams, who has homered twice. 2-run shot and a 3-run shot. And that's ball 4. Down to first base goes Wieters. Second walk of the inning and of the outing allowed by Matt Strom. Matt Adams' second multi-home run game this season. The first one was May the 1st against Pittsburgh. And tonight marks the 7th multi-home run game of his career. For the Nationals first baseman. It's been a big night. And the Nationals now have an 8-2 lead. Ground ball towards shortstop. Galvis coming in. Will flip underhanded to second for the force out that ends the inning. But a 3-run home run for Matt Adams. 8-2 Nats. Wednesday night versus the Nationals. Padres live begins at 5:30 p.m. Certainly gone too soon. Tony Gwynn.
Wow, that's powerful. Just seeing T right there in the '98 World Series. You got that right. Gone too soon.
22 Nationals have the lead to the bottom of the 7th inning. Steven Strasburg still out there. There's been no action in the pen. There's a look at the usage and a lot of fastballs. 42 of them tonight.
Yeah, he's mixing it in nicely, but relying on that fastball like a lot of pitchers do.
This is lined into left center field sharply by Frenchie Cordero. This will get through to the track of the wall, and Cordero heads for second base. Got himself a leadoff double. Opens up the bottom of the 7th inning.
We've seen Franchi go the opposite way with regularity. Remember in Monterey? A couple times going to the left side of the second base bag. There's a fastball at 94, and he stays on it nicely. That's pretty. Off the bat, you see the outfielders thinking two.
So leadoff double for Frenchie Cordero. Rafi Lopez has struck out twice in this game tonight against Steven Strasburg. Swings away here and lifts a fly ball down the left field line. Howie Kendrick over by the seats, and Kendrick will make the catch in foul ground.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
One out runner at second brings up Chase Headley. Headley tonight getting the start at third base, has walked and struck out. Two pitches for Steven Strasburg. Still nobody warming in the pen. Going back and forth with Wieters here. Most pitches he's thrown in any outing this year is 107. Did that against the LA Dodgers back on the 21st of April. Pretty regularly he gets into over 100 pitches in his outings. 5 of the 8 starts he's had up over 100. Two-one, and that will just miss. 3-1. It was a pretty good pitch.
Yeah, Chase Headley saying thank you.
And low strike call has not been called by Brian Gorman.
This is a strike.
1 pitch coming up here to Headley. Fouled off to the left and a full count.
Oh, what do you know? Chase Headley looking at 3-2 count here. Full count. He's the best. He is the best at working a full count.
Lined and picked at first base by Adams. Now he's going to try to win the race, and he does. Wow. What a play by Matt Adams. Looked up, realized Strasburg wasn't coming, didn't have time, and then wins the foot race to the bag in what almost was a nasty collision.
This is an unbelievable play by Adams. The big fella diving towards the foul line. And remember back in the old days, like in the 50s, you saw the 2 freight trains coming down the tracks head on. That's what this was all about here. Luckily, Adams gets the bag and then somehow gets out of the way. Boy, that could have been really nasty. Thank goodness nobody gets hurt on that one.
So on to third base goes Franchi Cordero. With 2 down and Jose Perella coming up. Cordero, who reached on the double, has now got an 11-game stretch in which he has reached base in every game.
You know, I know that Chase Headley isn't going to break any land speed records, right? But I tell you what, for a big kid like Matt Adams to dive, get that, and then get back up and get to that bag the way he did, that's showing some athleticism. And Chase was busting it down that line. He saw the play right in front of him. He knew he had to go as quickly as he could. He gave a great effort.
Jose Perella 1 for 2. He's grounded out and singled in 2 plate appearances. And his third look at Steven Strasburg tonight. He's pitching into the 7th. Almost hit him with a pitch in.
No change up from Strasburg that kind of got away from him a little bit. Just kind of pushed that one and didn't get the release point out in front enough.
He's at 88 miles an hour. So you're talking about 7 miles an hour difference between his fastball and his changeup.
Yeah, and you know what? There's nothing wrong with that, especially when you're Steven Strasburg, because he's got good tilt to that.
Good movement.
Right? Movement. Usually, you know, you talk to pitching coaches or players, you're going to get different answers, but anywhere from like, 8 to 12 miles an hour, maybe even. Now, remember Fernando Rodney?
Oh, it was like 25.
Yeah, it was a significant difference. So everybody's different.
On the ground up the middle into left center field. A base hit for Perella. From third comes Cordero. He scores the third Padres run, and Jose Perella with his second hit drives in a run. It's now 8-3 Nationals.
The foot is down. You know, he's out in front just a little bit, but Perella keeps his hands back. When you keep your hands back and your body's still out in front a little bit, you still got enough power to muscle that ball through just to the left of Trey Turner. Good piece of hitting right there by Jose.
A full meeting on the mound here as Derek Lilliquist, the pitching coach, out there, and everybody coming in the infield to join the conversation.
I'll tell you what, the Padres got one heck of a left-handed pitcher when they traded for Lilliquist back in 1991.
That would be you.
Anyway, it looks like there's going to be action in the Washington Nationals bullpen.
Well, that is quite a trade.
Yeah. Padres got the better end of that one.
I can't believe they handed your number out. I'm still stunned by that. I thought it was out of the rotation.
You'll have to talk to Spencer about that.
I plan to tomorrow. First thing. Galvis with a check swing. Ball gets away and headed to second base is Jose Perella.
And it looks like Galvis went on that curveball. You know what, still, Don, that was pitch number 102. That breaking ball has some bite to it still. Look at the bite to this breaking ball. Tight spin. Freddie cannot hold up.
Actually hit the shin guard there. Brian Gorman, home plate umpire. Wild pitch charge to Strasburg, allowing Perella to take second base. And Galvis trying to bring him in. Third foul off to the left, out of play.
Let's check out more curveballs tonight. There's a little slider down and away. Breaking ball. He's got both of them that are very effective. The shorter breaking ball and the bigger breaking ball. And even when it's up there in the zone, it catches the top part of the zone. He can go up with it, down with it. You know, when a pitcher throws both the slider and the curveball, it seems like one or the other is going to be a really good pitch. And the other one's going to be like maybe a show-me type pitch. Not with Strasburg. Both of them are very effective.
Working with 2 outs, runner at second, and Galvis grounding 1 foul.
Talk about the curveball and the slider. The difference, curveball is more of a bigger break and up on top of the fingers this way. Bam, that way. Slider, more of a shorter break to work more around the baseball like this. Shorter break, curveball, slider.
No 2 pitch. Galvis fights it off, foul to the left out of play. Two down, Pearl at second base, and Galvis battling here 0-2. Bouncing in, and Weeder is able to block it. No advance at second base for Perella. Padres getting a run back here so far in the bottom of the 7th. Trailing 8-3. And Strasburg nearing the end of his outing. There is action for the first time in the Nationals' pen with 2 outs and Perella at second base. High for ball 2, 2-2. 8th pitch of the at bat coming up here. It's been a good battle.
95, still a good giddy up on that fastball from Steven Strasburg. And there's the speed comparison.
Wow.
First inning 96, this inning 95.
Pitch 109. And it's on the ground to shortstop. Trey Turner will pick and throw and end the inning. So Strasburg gets through 7. 8-3 Nationals lead.
Gonzalez would homer twice in this one.
This is the home of Launch Angle in Cincinnati, actually called Williamsport of the big leagues.
Absolute bandbox. Mets would win this one 7-6 over Cincinnati. It was actually a very good ball game, back and forth the whole way through. Mark and I working on Padres Live, the post-game show brought to you by Cox Communications. Guys, when we see you after the final out, you're going to hear from Andy Green, and we'll get you set for Game 2 of this 3-game series with the Washington Nationals, guys.
All right, thanks very much, Mike and Mark, as Moises Sierra pinch hitting here in the spot of Steven Strasburg. So that is the night for the Nationals starter. Back out there again is Matt Strom in his 2nd inning of relief. Strom allowing 3 runs in the 7th inning and back out there to start the 8th. Pretty good tonight was Strasburg. 109 pitches in 7 innings of work. Ends up allowing a total of 6 hits and 3 runs. He struck out 5 and walked 1.
Yeah, that's a pretty good workout for Strasburg. Had it working. Spinning everything up there. I mean, tight rotation. Curveball off the table. Slider was working for him. The changeup was devastating.
Two to Sierra and a check swing. Did he go? No. Trip Gibson, first base umpire. Full count. Sierra, Defoe, and Harper expected here in the top of the 8th inning. And that's ball 4. A leadoff walk for Sierra.
At Kia, get America's best value backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
Leadoff walk for Matt Strom, the 3rd national that he has walked in this inning plus effort, and that's in there. Or actually, it is not in there. That's ball 1. Wilmer Defoe batting out of the 9 spot for the Nats. Has grounded out twice and struck out.
Well, it seems like at the big league level, and I'm looking at the media guide here from Matt Strom, that the walks have been kind of the kryptonite. In Kansas City in 2016, he only threw 22 innings, but 11 walks. And then in 17, 56 2/3 and 33 walks. So a little high on the walks.
He's ahead here, 1-2 of Wilmer Defoe. Short lead over there at first base for Sierra, held on by Hosmer. Ground ball to third base, hit sharply. Headley will go to second for 1. On to first for 2. Double play, nicely done. Around the horn and started by Chase Headley.
Everybody on the move when that ball is off the bat. Chase Headley. Perfect fielding technique. Now he's got to fire a strike. Perella. Love the 5-4-3 double play. As much as I love trivia.
Oh. 2 down here in the 8th, and Bryce Harper coming up.
Remember those walk totals I just gave you about Matt Strom? You know what the amazing thing is? Those years when I told you about in 16, opponents only hit 173. Last year they only hit 213. So if you cut down on the walks, it doesn't seem like they're really making contact against him.
Well, the 3 walks that he's allowed in tonight's outing tie his career high in an outing. 4th time in his career that he's done it. (1-0) to Harper, and the high strike call makes it 1-1. Here's a guy who walks more than he strikes out.
Yeah, that's amazing.
39 walks, 25 Ks, minimum of 100 at bats to be part of the conversation.
That's a great hand-eye coordination. That's a good command of the strike zone.
That's a drive to right. Jankowski back. He leaps at the wall. What a catch out there in right field by Jankowski. Timed his leap as he got back to the warning track to make the catch on Bryce Harper. That was quite a catch out there in right field by Travis Jankowski.
8-3, and yet Travis Jankowski has got a bead on this one. We talk about his speed in right field. He goes back. It looks like Bryce Harper may have thought he got this one. Remember this, though. 2/3 of the earth is covered by water. The other third is covered by Travis Jankowski. Great catch in right field. Way to go, Freddie. That's a great catch.
New pitcher on for the Nationals.
That uniform's taking a beating, isn't it? It's got dirt and blood all over it.
Trevor Gott is into the game now for the Nats.
Well, with the 8-3 lead, Dave Martinez has his right-hander Gott. A little high ERA. Splits above 250 on both sides, so an inning of work. Very herky-jerky delivery from Trevor Gott.
Matt Caesar has come out on deck. He would pinch hit for Matt Strom. And well, Margot leading it off. There is Caesar. And a pitch in. So Steven Strasburg, 7 innings, 6 hits, allowed 3 runs. Walked a batter, struck out 5, and the National starter threw 109 pitches.
Oh.
Look out. And that gets Margot. The batter to begin the 8th inning.
Well, that was a breaking ball from Gott that got away from him. And Manuel Margot turning the correct way. There's the curveball. You can see it out of the hand rotation and turn in. And just off the left elbow.
So Margot at first base and Matt Caesar to pinch hit. Another breaking ball, and this one missing high. As Trevor Gott trying to find the feel for that breaking ball. 243, a home run, 3 runs batted in for Caesar into his 26th game of the year. He'll try the fastball and miss. 2-0. Gott making the opening day roster for the Nationals, then sent back to Syracuse mid-April, but came back at the end of April, and right now he's got some serious control problems. 3-0.
Oh, a very quick delivery, and the veteran catcher Weeder's out to have a chat with him. Maybe just slow it down a little bit. Maybe a case of just flying open on that front side. A lot of his pitches have been up and in on the arm side.
Eric Lilliquist, the pitching coach, looking on. It's the first batter, now a 3-0 pitch. And that's going to miss for ball 4. So hit batter and a walk to open up the 8th inning.
See, this is a situation where Dave Martinez would hope that Gott can get a good quick inning and not have to use any more arms out of that bullpen.
Now the Padres with runners in scoring position, 1 for 6 on the night. Eric Lilliquist going to get somebody up in the pen just to be sure. Here's strike 1. Travis Jankowski 2 for 3 in the game. Single to left in the first, single to right in the 4th inning. Ryan Madsen is going to start to warm up.
Boy, his ball moves so much. He should probably just try to aim for the middle of the plate, you know, middle thigh high, maybe knee high, and let the ball do the work. You know, I'm sure a pitching coach has never mentioned that to him. The Padres got something going here with this wildness, and there might be a chance where Dave Martinez might see enough after this hitter here, trying to get that tying run to the plate, getting slam range. Doesn't have to be. It's the second call he's gotten there off the plate.
First and second, nobody out. Eric Hosmer waiting on deck. And a foul back to the screen as Jankowski stays alive here. 2-2. Two on, nobody out, and a 2-2. That is strike three as Jankowski goes looking. A 96-mile-an-hour fastball. One down here in the 8th inning.
That's a nice two-seam fastball, and he brings it back. Right on the inside corner. Nice frame job also by Matt Wieters, the Gold Glove catcher.
So 2 on, 1 away, and it brings up Eric Hosmer. Still looking for his first hit of the night, 0 for 3. Some generous calls here in the inning.
You think?
That was a strike. Called the ball, 1-1. Margot at second. Caesar at first with 1 away in the 8th inning. And that's ball 2, 2-1. Margot was hit by a pitch to begin the inning. Caesar walked. Jankowski strikes out looking. In there for strike 2.
That's nasty movement at 96.
Yeah, it is.
And you can see, notice, remember he was missing way up and into righties. When he keeps that ball down, how much more action he has on that pitch.
It's a lane changer.
Yep.
Phil Maton warming up in the pen for the Padres as Hosmer strikes out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Gott, 2 down here in the 8th.
So you mix in that 96 with 2C movement. Now the curveball, that was a knuckle curve. You see the finger spiked up on top of that ball right there. See it? Then out in front, spin it. Down and in. Perfectly placed.
So 2 down here in the 8th inning brings up Franchi Cordero. He doubled his last time up, came around to score the 3rd Padres run. He's also driven in a run. Ground out back in the 4th inning. 20th pitch of the inning coming up here for Trevor Gott. On the ground up the middle, diving it short as Turner. He flips to second for the out. What a play. Trey Turner fully extended, flips to second base, and Wilmer Defoe is there first on the force out. Trey Turner laying it out, and the flip backhanded just in time.
I knew something was wrong for a while, and then everything just came to a head when she said the word cancer, and I kind of blacked out and I couldn't hear what she was saying. I was just in total shock. And all I could think about was having to forego the season and not really knowing if I was ever going to play again.
Now catch Aztec outfielder Chad Bible's inspirational story, as well as the Padres Coach of the Week on Inside San Diego Sports, following Padres Live tomorrow. So Phil Maton comes into the game here for the 9th inning.
13th game for Phil. And the strikeouts are there. Trying to hold the Nationals at 8. It's been a frustrating night. So that the Nationals have been really hitting the breaking ball well. See if Phil Maton can work ahead and place his breaking ball to be effective.
So Matt Strom ended up going a total of 2 innings of relief. Gave up 2 hits and 3 runs, including the 3-run home run by Matt Adams. He walked 3 and strike out 1 in his Padres debut, and hit by the pitch is Trey Turner. Begin things here in the 9th inning. Hit batsman.
That's a breaking ball right on the stripe on his pants and then into the glove of Rafi Lopez.
So lead runner on here for the Nationals in the 9th inning, and they'll bring up Anthony Rendon. 2 doubles in this game. Double in the 6th inning to drive in a run, a double in the 7th inning, and he has scored 2 runs. That's now with Matt Adams waiting on deck, who's had a huge night for the Nationals. 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. And the player of the game right now for the Nats.
You know, just when you think it's going to be Bryce Harper or Trey Turner, Anthony Rendon, well, there's a reason why he's batting 4th. He can do some damage.
A little bit high, and it's 3-1. In the air down the right field line, headed towards foul ground, and a foul ball. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th inning, Rafi Lopez, Chase Headley, and Jose Perella schedule. Look out. Up near his face, and that's ball 4. So hit batter and a walk begins things here in the 9th inning. Now time now for the Bill Howe plays of the game. Matt Adams going deep twice. A 2-run shot down the right field line and just inside the pole. Then a 3-run shot in the 7th inning, opening this game up and giving the Nationals an 8-3 lead. A diving play defensively for Adams, and he just beats Headley to the bag. So doing it offensively and defensively tonight for the Nationals. High heat and a swing and a miss. 91 miles per hour on the fastball up. Two on, nobody out here in the 9th inning. Fly ball into shallow right. Perella out. Jankowski in. And Jankowski makes a basket catch, sliding in shallow right field.
It never gets old watching Travis Jankowski. You know, he pulled up a little bit too. He made a flash look to Jose Perella, thinking that he may have gone for it or wanted to go for it. Now it's full commit. The basket catch and the slide. And the flowing locks of Travis Jankowski.
2 on, 1 away, and Howie Kendrick now the batter.
I'll tell you what, the washing machine tonight is going to have to work overtime on that uniform for Travis Jankowski.
It's been well used.
Now that's a ball player right there.
Bounces in and evens the count at 1-1. Maton, third arm used tonight by the Padres, working here in the 9th inning and trying to work his way around a hit batter and a walk to begin the inning. And Adams to fly out, now a 1-1 to Kendrick. Tardy on that fastball. Some late life on that fastball.
Yeah, that 91 looks like 96. Especially up around the eyes.
Swing and a miss, and he strikes out Kendrick. Second time Kendrick's down by way of the K. First strikeout for Phil Maton. 2 down.
That's the breaking ball. Fastball at 91, up around the neck. Pull the string on the curveball, way off the plate, not even close.
2 down in the 9th inning for Matt Wieters. Right-hander, and Wieters will turn around and bat from the left side. And he's got to do a little dance to get out of the way of that pitch down and in. Tyson Ross started, went 6 innings, giving up 5 runs. Matt Strom 2 innings, allowing 3 runs. Grounded down the first baseline. Hosmer plays it on the backhand. He'll take it himself to the bag for the out. That ends the inning. Into the bottom of the 9th with the Nats on top 8-3. The bottom of the 9th inning. Let's revisit our keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Ross versus righties, that was a big key because before this ball game, Tyson Ross against righties, they were hitting 145, and the Nationals right-handed hitters 4 for 14. A couple of doubles and a home run in those 4 hits, and more 1-2 punch. Jankowski, Hosmer 2 for 8 with a couple singles and a run. 8-3 is where we're at right now as we go to the bottom of the 9th. Don?
Rafi Lopez is going to lead it off against the new pitcher who comes into the game. Torres comes in for Trevor Gott, who ended up pitching 1 inning in the 8th.
Eighth game for Carlos Torres. And once again, an opportunity for Dave Martinez, the manager for the Nationals, to get some work in for other arms in that bullpen. And it's nice for him personally to have Kinsler, Madsen, and Doolittle, their three-headed monster down there in that bullpen, to have the night off.
Lopez fouls it back and evens the count here at 1-1. Lopez struck out in the 2nd, in the 4th, and then fouled out down the left field line in the 7th. Kendrick making a good catch over in foul ground. Chase Headley on deck for the Padres here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And a full count now. Steven Strasburg tonight, pitcher of record for the Nationals, threw 109 pitches in 7 innings. That's 6 hits, 3 runs, walked the batter, and struck out 5. Fouled back, and Lopez staying alive. Elevates and walks Lopez. Pretty much the last thing Dave Martinez wanted to see there, as Lopez leadoff walk here in the 9th inning. Chase Headley coming up. That's 2 relievers for the Nationals have walked at least 1. Chase Headley walked back in the 2nd inning. Since then, he has struck out and grounded out. Lopez taken off, as showing bunt was Headley. Defensive indifference as Lopez takes second base. In there for a strike, 1-1. Headley now with Jose Pirela waiting on deck. Padres batting here in the bottom of the 9th.
Well, you can see that the Nationals have a couple of live arms. We just saw Gott. Torres also can get it up there. Just a matter of throwing quality strikes. It's always nice to have an arm like that with some breathing room to go out and try to work a quick inning. Maybe find that release point.
Liner foul. And tomorrow, the middle game of the 3-game series between the Padres and the Nationals. Jeremy Hellickson on the mound for the Nats against Clayton Richard. We'll get you started at 6:30 with Padres Live. In the air foul down the left field line. Rendon gives it a look, but it's well back into the seats. Rafi Lopez at second base. Chase Headley waiting on a 2-2. And that is strike 3 over the outside corner. Headley doesn't think so, and it didn't look like a strike.
Well, it looked like he tried to backdoor a breaking ball, and we've seen with the left-handed hitters up there tonight, balls off the plate called strikes. Matt Wieters frames it nicely.
It's second, one down, and Jose Perella coming up. 2-hit night tonight for Perella. Single to center in the 5th, a single to center in the 7th. Grounder up the middle into center field. From second base, Lopez will be stopped at third, and it's 1st and 3rd on the 3rd hit for Jose Perella. Just been taking him into center field on the ground, and it's the 3rd one for him tonight.
Yeah, we talk about using the big part of the field. Mark Sweeney talks about staying on the ball and driving it back where it came from, right through the legs, it looks like, with his back turn. Torres follows through, and that goes right through the legs.
So 1st and 3rd with 1 out. And Galvis down the count 0-1. Perella taking second on the defensive indifference. So 2nd and 3rd now. On the ground to first base. Adams will take it himself to the bag from third base. Scoring is Lopez. And the Padres pick up their 4th run. It's now 8-4. As Galvis picks up an RBI on the ground out. 2 down in the 9th inning. Taking third was Perella. And it brings up Manuel Margot. Padres getting a run here in the bottom of the 9th. Christian Villanueva has come out on deck. He would bat in the pitcher spot for Phil Maton. There are 2 outs in the inning. Ripped into center field for Margot. From third base comes Perella. And the Padres are now back within 3. It's 8-5 Nationals. Showing some very good at-bats tonight.
We say it all the time, never give away at-bats. Doesn't matter what the score is. There's a cut fastball or slider taken right back up the middle. Both hits this inning going to center field.
All of a sudden you got the closer up. Sean Doolittle warming in the pen. Martinez did not want to do this. Runner at first goes Villanueva, the pinch hitter, swings and misses. Defensive indifference again as Margot takes second base. Villanueva 265, 9 homers, and 20 runs batted in. Down 0-2. He was 0 for 11 in the series in Mexico. 0-2. Foul back, and it's still 0-2. Christian Villanueva pinch hitting with 2 down here in the 9th. Swing and a miss, and he strikes out to end the ball game. So the Nationals take the first game of the series. They win it 8-5. Steven Strasburg is the winner in this game. Padres Live is next. Mike Pomeranz, what's in store?
Well, we're going to hear from Andy Green. We're going to get you set for game 2 of this series, and we're going to take one more look at Matt Adams' day, which was the big difference in game 1.